Morning, everyone, and welcome to today's virtual bridge session with Jasmin Hodge from Forth Valley College. Jasmin is one of the learning and technology coordinators at the college, and today is going to be looking at how the team have needed to bring together the collective expertise of their staff as they scramble to adjust to the new norms. So without giving too much away, I'll hand over to Jasmin.
Okay, thanks, Andrew. I will just share my screen. I don't know why that's not. I mean, I can just use this screen.
No, we can see that now. That's up and running.
You're using two screens. That happened to me as well.
Right. Okay, that's fine. All right, so thanks for the introduction, Andrew. I'm Jasmin Hodge from Forth Valley College, and I'm going to talk today about our Forth Valley College digital community. So the background is sort of leading up to the events before lockdown. Our team were discussing the possibility of developing a staff community as it's becoming more evident that we were heading towards a remote working situation. So we needed to prepare and maintain continuity of learning. The community had to serve all staff, but also keeping the students and their learning experience at the forefront of any decision that we made. Also to try and maintain the sense of community among staff and allow us to share, discuss and collaborate in the use of all digital tools in remote learning and teaching situations. So as a team, we agreed that a Microsoft PLC team would be created for many reasons, such as the platform being available to all staff immediately. And it's also designed as a professional learning community to share and collaborate. So we began to invite key members of the staff into the team to start preparing for the launch of the community. Then events did take over, and on Tuesday the 10th of March, face-to-face learning at Forth Valley College stopped due to a confirmed case of COVID-19 in one of our campuses. So this was much quicker than anticipated, and the team sprang into action and with sort of one mission in mind to rapidly roll out the community, all staff, because with the realisation everybody needed to support each other in these unprecedented times. So the Moodle team quickly became the digital team and the whole community team, and we grew into a wide support network which included lecturers, Microsoft experts, Microsoft expert trainers, we had IT, we had management, and our Moodle team, learning development officer and other support members of staff all brought together into this team. Also, our teaching staff in the community became a support network as well. We were all answering each other's SOS calls for help. So the whole community, which grew rapidly overnight, provided support, answered questions, delivered ad hoc training to all staff as required every week, and also to staff that were not only working at home, but were working at home and trying to adapt to learning to use new technology whilst at home. After a couple of weeks, the community team agreed that we'd need to create a remit, which I will share. And we worked out from the general activity that was already happening in the channel, in the community, what our structured channels would look like. And this would help us move forward with the team and ensure that the community evolved. So I will show you our team now, but just to summarise, the Forth Valley College digital community is for everyone in the college to help rebuild the sense of community that we've now lost due to the physical college being closed. The community's main priorities are to bring everyone together, to give them a space to interact with their colleagues, a place to ask any questions and anything digital, and to assist with remote learning and teaching, remote working and collaboration, a repository of useful information for lecturers to help them deliver remote learning effectively, and to be a space for staff to share useful resources and best practice with each other. Also to add a social element to the whole college community with online fitness classes, etc. Okay, so I may stop sharing here just to be sure I pick up the right window for the community. Okay. Can everybody see the community?
Yep.
Excellent. So this is our Forth Valley College digital community. So it's a Microsoft team, and anybody that's familiar with using Microsoft Teams will recognise this environment and the channels and the tabs at the top. But I'll take us quickly through them. But first I'll go through our channels that I was talking about just earlier there. So the general channel is where people chat, discuss, post, inquire. You know, there's a whole range of activity on there. We've got an Ask for Help channel. So staff use this page to ask the community for help with remote learning and teaching, as well as anything relating to hardware, connectivity problems, working offline, you know, using a remote server, pulling files from that into their own machine. So there's a whole range of help goes on in here. Okay, then we've got a bite-sized training channel. So this is where all our training occurs. We try to do 15-minute sessions mostly, so people can dip in and out. Our training schedule covers Moodle assignments, plagiarism tool, using Microsoft Teams, using screen capture to capture lessons, theory, demonstrations. We've got our MIE experts and trainers, Bill and Nader and Jim, doing sessions on Sway, class notebook, stuff like that. So a really varied schedule that staff can dip in and out of. We also record all our sessions, and they're held in a tab. I'll just move this, in a tab here. So staff can go back in and go through the sessions again. But the live sessions seem to be quite popular because I think people like coming in and talking to the middle team and the digital team with any questions that they've got. So that works really well. We've also got a good practice channel. So our good practice channel is where staff can go in and share experiences they've had, or what worked well, what doesn't, any tips they've got in using the technology. So we've got things like notification preferences in there, resources from Laura Hutton. She's our assistive technologist coordinator. So, and then we've got our Keep My Kids Entertained channel. So this is purely just to share resources and tips on how to keep the kids entertained when you're trying to do your serious work stuff from home. So learning opportunities. So this was created to share some of the great training opportunities that people are advertising at the moment for staff to upskill themselves. There's the MIE expert stuff, Digiday stuff, stuff from Jennifer Nesbitt, our learning and development officer, things like Learn Moodle Online, that type of stuff. So that's a great way to push out all these different links that you get. You say that would be really good for staff. We just push them all through that channel. We've got resources. So resources is an area, again, to share learning, teaching resources, online resources. A lot of people are providing resources that would normally be a subscription charge for, or would cost money, but a lot of them are doing for free because of COVID. Quite a bit of stuff in there about copyright as well. So student care, this is a channel where we try to put some information, student support in here. Our student support department put a lot of stuff in here that staff maybe need to know to relay back to their students. New initiatives that come out, funding information, anything that's important or key that we want to let staff know about, we'd put in there. Our team owners channel is where the digital team that I was discussing earlier, this is where we would meet and discuss the digital community. We would hold meetings and stuff in here, and we've got that locked down, so that's just private towards the team owners. I've got a hidden channel and it's just my social wellbeing. So the social wellbeing channel has been really good, actually. We've got live Zumba classes 3 times a week. We've got exercise sessions, so students from sport who had to finish courses and they had to do some live sessions and get feedback. The students have been going in and doing them through this channel as well, so that's been really good. We've had bake-offs, anything, step count challenge, anything that any member of staff thinks would be worthwhile for staff's health and well-being, working at home, getting involved with stuff other than work goes in here as well. So I think probably the future of the community is just going to continue with this shared sense of supporting each other, the support network, the sense of pride and commitment, the staff getting involved and just continuing to support each other right into the next session, as obviously we're moving into another remote learning and teaching situation. So that's it. We can open up to questions now if people want a more in-depth demonstration of any of the channels or...
Thanks, Jasmine. Already a couple of comments saying how great an idea it is, really impressive, and how detailed it is, how much information, how many channels you have there, and the areas that you cover. There was Jane Robertson came in with just yes, and I'm hoping she's coming in saying yes, she has a question. So Jane, is that right?
No, it was an answer to "Can you hear me?"
All right.
Sorry, I missed that. If you have a question, you're more than welcome to say that now while your microphone's unmuted.
I could ask you a question, Jasmine. Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, something that we're going to be, I work at the Botanics, and we do quite a lot of work with Shruck and the university. We have our own online courses already, which is what I normally deal with, but I'm going to be helping get our attended students online better for the new session. Although we've muddled through with Teams and our own Moodle at the moment, and the SRUC Moodle as well. But this is really interesting, and because I've been trying to think about what is the best way of training lecturers at a distance who don't normally use Moodle, you know, and you know, I think these sort of live remote sessions, sort of live demos, might be the way to go. Is that what you found?
Yeah, so in the bite-sized training channel, so we send out a schedule at the end of each week for the next week, and it tends to change depending what support calls we've had or what people have shown more interest in. We do sometimes put a little poll out as well, asking people what they want to see for the training next week. And we just schedule the meeting in Teams. So that goes out to every single member of staff as an Outlook meeting request. So at that point, we either decline or accept it, so it goes into their diary or not. And the good thing about it is it will remind them, it will say, so you've got a bite-sized training schedule coming up in 10 minutes, and the links, then they just click on the link, it brings them into the bite-sized training schedule, and they join us. And then we record each one as well.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
And that goes straight into our stream channel. I don't know if you're familiar with streams, so a stream channel set up for our bite-sized training channel, okay? So the members of staff can use this tab at the top to access the recordings.
Excellent.
Or when the recording finishes, it will sit underneath, you know, the actual training. So it keeps it all together. You know, we're trying to keep everything to do with training in the bite-sized training channel. So this obviously happened. I mean, the community just went, you know, obviously because, you know, we closed, it just felt like overnight. And this is how we had to get some sort of structure in. I mean, I don't know, there's maybe, we could maybe have done it better, I don't know, but
we all just had to fling ourselves in, really, didn't we? And just see what worked. There wasn't a lot of time.
No, it's just it's somewhere where we can try and aggregate all our you know, support resources and training and help and keep it all in the one place. So hopefully, you know, when staff even over the summer, staff that want to prepare and coming back for the new session to say, right, how do you do that again? Hopefully they'll go, I just need to go to the community. You know,
Well, I think I'll probably shamelessly copy you.
well, that's absolutely fine. I can share the remit with everybody if that's a good idea, Kenji. I mean, it's just
A thumbs up from Kenji there, so that sounds good.
Remit here, so it's really simple. So I can share that with everybody, and you can use that as a sort of template for your own. And it was a PLC team, the Professional Learning Community, because I know some people maybe set up class teams, so it can be a wee bit confusing at the beginning, but understanding, you know, that you don't want a class team, you just want a community team, you know, when you say
That's good. Especially the fact that you can record sessions, then you can go back and have a look at them.
yeah, it's worked really well.
Kenji has a few sort of questions there. Do you want to come on?
Yeah. Sorry, Jazz. I think it's really good that you're using Teams to show how you can deliver training, how you can provide support. Because if you're trying to convince staff that this is the platform that they should use with their students, if you can demonstrate how that's done effectively, then you're really walking that talk. You know, you're actually showing how it can be done, and people will then believe that they can do it with their own students. So it's a good example. That's the first thing. One of the things I sometimes struggle with in Teams, especially in that kind of conversation panel, is you get like especially if you get people who are quite chatty and are willing to sort of contribute back. The first thing is trying to teach people to reply to stuff rather than start a new thread. But you know, the channel just, it quickly fills up. And I was just wondering, do you have any tips around how you organize the content and how you make things easier to find? Do you use like stickies or bookmarks, or what kind of tips can you pass on for people who like us who struggle with these overcrowded channels?
Yeah, so what we always do when we do any type of team sharing, we still do quite a lot of it. We always, you know, really enforce the fact that you must reply rather than set up a new conversation. Always mention people as well that you want to know that you're speaking to them direct. We also use research. I've moved my keyboard away. So if I'm in the general channel, and if I say, right, okay, Emma sent something to me. No, sorry, if Emma sent something to me, but Arkins. I can't remember. There's a way of searching your channel for posts. Wait till I do. I'm scared to do this in case it opens up my chat.
I'll blur out everything that comes up.
That's fine. So people, files. Okay, so you can, so I've searched for Audrey, right? So Audrey Keaton. And that has brought up my chat. And you can bring up the files and the post that that person has done in this command box. I don't know if you can actually signpost. I think you can maybe highlight.
You can certainly highlight certain posts to attract people's attention to it, so that it's the ones that are more important or official announcements and things can be highlighted.
Yes, you can do that if they're your own posts. You can make things announcements when you create the post. I'm sure there's tagging as well. So there may be something in tags that you could do to maybe organise your channel, your general posts as well. We just try to keep everything split up like this as much as possible.
I see there's a few other questions, so I'll thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kenji. Jason Miles Campbell.
If I can find the unmute button, which I have indeed. Okay, my first question was, were all your staff pretty confident in Teams before lockdown, or did you have to bring some staff along and getting used to the different sort of culture that comes about from engagement with it?
I would say most staff weren't confident, Jason, before we went into lockdown. So I think our first 2 weeks in the community was purely Teams training. We also took the support staff training week as well. We also used that opportunity, obviously we weren't in college, used that opportunity to use that full week to train support staff using Teams as well. And the weeks before that and the week after, I think we were doing 2 to 3 sessions every day and getting started with Teams, how to schedule meetings in Teams, and we've done how to use your files areas. So we split it up into kind of manageable chunks, if you like. And we had question and answer sessions. So I think the staff quickly adapted to learning it because of the community, but we did have to do a lot of training. We were aware that Teams had fully rolled out in the college when this happened.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another comment there, just praising the work that you've done from Walter Patterson. Alison Boyle has a question. Alison, you want to come on?
Yes, I was very impressed with all the different resources and wondered if there was any resources, generic resources that you were willing to share rather than duplicate repositories all around the colleges.
Absolutely. I wonder how we could do that. So the resources in here, Alison, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So I wonder, what do you think would be the best way to do that, Kenji?
So we're going to move from a Google Doc for the program to a Google site. So if you're willing to share, I'll post them up onto the site.
Absolutely, I'll do that myself and my colleagues. We'll just go through, we'll pick all of these up, and we'll just put them in the Google Doc for you all.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Just going through the comments here. So Nadir's just saying that they use OneNote for all content, and then the chat channel and main channels are for notices and discussions only. I don't know if that helps Jasmine there. Where else have we got? Just some comments again about using the search bar.
Maybe somebody tell me how to do
it. We've got a question from Lisa Wardlaw.
Yep. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice to see you.
I know you too. I can see you now. Hiya.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so I work for Young Enterprise Scotland, and we deliver a programme called Bridge to Business, which is an enterprise-focused programme across 9 colleges in Scotland, and Forth Valley College is one of them. But the question for me is Microsoft Teams going to be the generic platform that colleges across Scotland are going to be using? And if it's not, is there something else that you're going to be using? I know that not everyone will know, but I'm just looking for some kind of information just for us, because obviously we're having to now mould our deliveries to the needs of the colleges, and how can we adapt to you? So I'm just wondering if anybody has any info on that. It'd be really, really great.
Teams seems to be the crowd pleaser at the moment. Anybody I've spoke to colleagues across colleges, it all seems to be Teams, but I'm sure that there will be other platforms that other people are using.
That's fine. I've actually got a survey that I'm going to be sending out to different colleges anyway, but I was just wondering if I could get a head start, if anyone knew if any other platforms are getting used, or Microsoft Teams was just the one you were going forward with.
Kenji, is that something you're aware of?
So Teams is, it depends what kind of channel you're talking about. If you're talking about communication between staff, then Teams seems to be the universal platform that most people are employing, as well as traditional staff portal sites, which are usually managed through SharePoint or email. It's slightly more mixed when it comes to delivering to students.
Yeah, so it was the delivery aspect I was meaning. So if we were to deliver a workshop to students on a platform, would it be Microsoft Teams, or would it be something else we would have to deliver on?
So some institutions have used Zoom as their primary delivery device. And if you're talking about other groups such as the UHI, they specifically use WebEx Teams as their main delivery platform for video conferencing. But I suspect there was some other interesting questions from Shermiston. I'll leave it to you, Andrew.
I'm glad you did that. Shermiston would like to come on.
Sorry, it's Suzanne. Jasmine knows me. Previously Suzanne Scott, but now Suzanne Hermiston. Hiya. Just, I suppose for me, I'm now working at the Botanics alongside Jane, having come from the zoo, so I'm kind of working my way around the conservation education organisations. For me, it's just about trying to upskill our tutors and making sure that they're not overwhelmed. So obviously you've got your bite-size training, but then there's also your learning opportunities where other people are putting more kind of training that's available, and you know yourself there's a huge plethora of training available at the moment. Like, you could be doing everything. So how are you kind of managing that with the staff? You know, do you think they're feeling overwhelmed? Are you kind of trying to point them in the right direction of the most useful training, or how's that working?
Yeah, do you know, there was a point where we felt we were maybe overwhelming staff a little bit, because, you know, at the beginning there was so much and everybody was really excited, you know, about the community and posting stuff, and, you know, so we did sort of have an agreement at one point, right, okay, we need to start, you know, making posts more, you know, timing, maybe, you know, just a couple in the morning, you know, and a couple later in the day. And if there is anything that we really want staff to know about, you know, just reviewing them first and making sure that they're there.
Have a good time with Esme tomorrow.
So yeah, we were aware that we were maybe overwhelming staff at, you know, one point. That's why I also put in the general channel about managing your notifications in Teams. You know, in case people are going, oh, there's another FVC digital community mention, you know, and, you know, just a lot of notifications. So yeah, we were aware of that. Definitely planning down, you know, from the beginning, where it just went.
Yeah. And do you think staff are kind of settling into it now? Do you think they're...
I think that there's staff are settling into it. You know, they appreciated being able to manage their notifications, you know, just to receive in notifications, you know, at the end of the day, or just get notifications for certain things. A lot of staff I've seen maybe drop away because they've got all they've needed from it at the moment. They've learned what they need to do, and now they're concentrating on doing their stuff for the students. So I see that. I see people coming in, getting what they need, you know, becoming confident what they need to do and going away and doing it, you know. But I've also, which is really nice to see, some of these lecturers that at the beginning were like, how do I do this? What do I do? You know, taking them through it, them going away and working with their students, and then come back into the community and them answering questions and helping people and actually training their own members of their team. And so it's really, you know, how it's all grew. It's great.
Good, Jacqueline, I'm all right. I'm just listening.
So yeah, I mean, if I probably need to ask all the staff, maybe sometime in the summer, the end of the summer, and just, you know, just ask them, how beneficial do you find the community? At the moment, we just have to go with how well attended it is, you know, and how many people are interacting and responding and turning up at the bite-sized training sessions. You know, we're just sort of measuring it with that at the moment.
Thank
Jasmin,
you.
Thank you. Jasmin, one more question from a wall. If
hi, yes, Salin. Yeah, I'm just interested because it's a good resource I see there for staff. I support learners online, and some are struggling with sort of getting their own team, sharing the screen, what have you. And I've been trying to use Whiteboard. Is there a similar sort of community or team page for students to access advice?
Well, our student association have got their own Microsoft team, and I think that's for the class reps and the senior class reps in that whole community. And I think from there they do some sessions and they support students and all that. you don't let students into this particular community.
Oh, no, I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Student Association do have their own community. I know that they are using Google quite a lot. You can host meetings within Google environment.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tried it out. That works fantastic. And then you've got your Google Docs that Kenji was talking about. You could probably get a whole support community set up in a Google environment.
Mm.
You know, and I think a few students have done that themselves as well.
Right.
I could introduce you to somebody in our student association if you want, Alan.
I was just interested, you know, because of the resources you've got there, some of the advice.
Yeah.
You know, I could see how it could help some students.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be interested. Yeah.
No, absolutely. No problem.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Jasmine.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll bring this part of the conversation to an end. But for those people online, if you'd like to stay with us, and we'll continue working through the questions that are coming up on the chat panel. There's quite a few just now. For those that are leaving us, please do join us for live for the rest of the week. We're here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and look forward to seeing you then. Thanks again.